So, Richard, you have been a consultant for picking juries on several high-profile cases, from O.J. Simpson to Casey Anthony. For this case, we now know 6,000 potential jurors have been summoned, 2,000 more than typical. The court's looking for that perfect 12 in this massive haystack. If you were Trump's legal team right now, who's your ideal juror? And if you were DA Alvin Bragg, who would you be looking for?
So obviously they're bringing in a lot of jurors because there's going to be a process in which they're going to be excising a great number of jurors. I think obviously Alvin Bragg is going to be looking for jurors. I think both sides are looking for those hidden agenda jurors. Obviously, people who have very strong opinions about Donald Trump one way or the other are going to be excised out of this, probably because their opinions are too strong. And you're supposed to have an impartial jury go into the process. But I think Alvin Bragg is going to be looking for somebody who actually doesn't have a hidden agenda, someone who really is going to be able to evaluate this evidence and make that direct connection between the documents, the payments, and the interference of election. This is a fairly unique legal theory, and he needs jurors to make that connection.
You know, Trump's legal team has argued the court cannot seat a fair jury in Manhattan. They argue the deck is stacked against him. Trump got 12% of the vote in Manhattan in 2020. 4 years before that, he got 10%. Richard, how hard will it be to get a fair and impartial jury in Manhattan?
Well, it's going to be difficult. Obviously, impartiality typically means somebody who doesn't know very much about the case. Everybody knows about Donald Trump. Everybody knows even about this case. The jurors in Manhattan have a long history with Donald Trump himself, so they carry a lot of baggage. So the key element here really is talking to jurors, finding out how they feel about him, because some people have very good feelings about him as well. And it's how strong is their feelings. And then, but something remarkable does happen when after you pick a jury. Obviously, you want to eliminate people who have such strong opinions, they're not going to be able to listen fairly to the evidence. But when jurors sit together in a group of 12, a group of diverse citizens, they are able to parse through evidence and concentrate on their jobs. So it's about sort of eliminating people on the edges, finding out people who are truly open to really listening to the evidence and have that critical ability to understand either their own biases as well as be able to work with other jurors. That's going to be key.
Richard, do you expect people would want to be on this jury? And what kind of red flags will the lawyers be and the judge be looking for?
Well, I think some jurors absolutely will not want to be on this jury. The pressure, obviously there's been threats against all kinds of people involved in this case. So some people are going to say, I don't want to deal with that kind of pressure. There are jurors who are going to want to be just for the fascination, just for the sensationalism and for the stories afterwards. Obviously, the red flags, what I sometimes look for are people who sometimes answer a little too perfectly. In other words, they're just, I can be fair and impartial. I can just evaluate the evidence. There's something about the way they're answering questions that shows a type of eagerness to be on the jury. Most jurors don't like to be on jurors, so somebody who's super eager to be on a jury sometimes can telegraph a little bit of a hidden agenda.